Just use it as a moment to dive back at it like a sword fighter. The painting is going to get you if you don't get it first. Touché! Take that. Your life depends on it. So you attack that thing, that crappy piece of paper, with your juice, as I call it, the stuff you're using, like a mad person. Otherwise you go, oh, precious paper cost me money. Nah, you're here to get action, not more of the same of what you know. No one sets out to make bad art. It just happens a lot as part of the process of any person's creative work. You can't grow without pushing the limits of your comfort zone. And when you push that, shit happens. Stuff will break as you march in with your big clown shoes looking for action. Yes, behind every great artwork are thousands of duds and do-overs. You know, the nose is too big, or it's not big enough, too flat, it's too wide. So what is this purge challenge? This visual morning pages is what I like to think of it as. You've all heard people say it's okay to make bad art. That's not what this is. That's calming you down and helping you live with your failures. It's a very different thing. It's nice, you know, for someone to say that to you, but that's all about the ego making peace with failure. Bad art is what you get when you're trying to make good art and it doesn't work out. That is a failure. So it's nice to be pacified in it. We're not all perfect. But as for this, what I'm doing, it can't fail because nothing is being attempted. And if you are disappointed with what comes out, you're probably making art or attempting to. So you're going to see me constantly going through this, trying to justify making the thing I'm doing into a piece of sellable art. I couldn't work it out. It just kept happening. It's just my training. You know, it's like decades of training to think, is this going to sell? Is this going to be viable in the market? I mean, I don't lead with those thoughts, but it's always there. So my dare to you in this series coming up, if you take on this challenge, is to watch what happens when you stop trying to make it good or make sense. It's really hard to do initially, especially if you see yourself as an artist or a creative creator that makes things and you want them accepted in the world. Now, a few things before we go in. I filmed this over 18 months ago, and then I actually sat on it. It wasn't because it went wrong, because I actually did a whole series of them with cameras everywhere. It was because I didn't really know what to do with it. So this is day 1 of 7, and it's the worst one. It's the messy one. I hadn't worked out the rules. I was just, sucking it to see. I just felt fed up with myself. So I headed into the studio and thought, I'm just going to stuff around like a kid. And you're going to watch me find these boundaries or rules that I ended up making for myself for a very good reason. And it was to stop me doing that making art thing. For any of you out there who've engaged with Julia Cameron's morning pages exercise, you'll know her rules. They were really quite distinctive. It's not a diary. That's not what you do in morning pages. You purge your head contents, good, bad, and ugly, just everything. The idea is that you purge the noise, no judgment, even of your judgments coming out in the purge, because you've got to let all that out too. You can't go, oh, I shouldn't say that, that's too, or beep, all that kind of stuff. None of that. You just gotta let it all out, all the ugly stuff, all your fears and worries and paranoias. I've got tons of them. Just let them out, sweet and sour. There's no room for sophisticated censorship or time. That's why you keep moving fast. Keep this in the body if you can. It's all about the body. That's where the soul actually does its work. Now, this sounds a bit kooky, but try and stand up if you can so you don't get comfy and sort of stay on the edge and be impatient and hungry and wanting to get it over with. But do it, 6 or 8 times. Even if it's annoying you, keep purging away. The whole thing is to actually, feel emotions, get really annoyed. That's what you're trying to get out of there. You're not there to, do all this judge away. I hate this, I hate that. My hair's on fire. Leave it all in there. But when I said keep it in the body, what you're doing is you're trying to keep the current, very important, the current from those contents, to run down through your arm into the tool and onto the paper. It's like like that, right? It's not, here and it's like that. Watch me and you'll see. It's not perfect. Oh, don't do it perfectly. And don't stand back and say, ooh, ah, as I do sometimes. Just use it as a moment to dive back at it like a sword fighter. The painting is going to get you if you don't get it first. Touché! Take that. Your life depends on it. So you attack that thing, that crappy piece of paper, with your juice, as I call it, the stuff you're using, like a mad person. Just get it out. Be a gushing pipe that you can't turn off. Finish one, then rip it off and throw it on the pile and just peg that next bit of crappy paper up and get on with it. That's why I use crappy paper. Otherwise you go, oh, precious paper costs me money. Nah, just use crap. At the end of the day, you can lay them all out as your conquests. The conquests of the clown that you let yourself be. And stand back and just look. Look at what you've done. Take a photo. Look at it later on upside down and think, who did that? Not me. That's the whole idea. So nice to step out of who you are and just become this other thing. Now, why do I say to film it and to speak aloud as you do it? Like a sports commentator, it is coming around the bend. So first on the voice, out loud. When you speak, that engages another set of bodily senses. It pulls you out of your head, right? The noise going around in your head, and you get it off your chest and communicate. So you're actually using your body again. So your voice is part of your body. I just think, it's crazy as it sounds, this is a really interesting breakthrough for me. Well, it was. We're word creatures, we're story creatures, word creatures. So use them loud. And if you can, film it. Don't do it on 4K, right? But even just with a phone on a tripod or something. It's so you can go back and watch it later and see yourself and your contents and actually be amazed. Or not. Either way, what happens is you hold yourself accountable to what you never admit in your silence. It's really interesting. I've got these thoughts going all the time. It's just so annoying, and I don't realise how much they're bogging up my day. It's very like morning pages. But if you just get them out and using imagery, especially if you're a visual person, you can delete it all if you want, burn it all like morning pages, or you can actually do more with it later. That's the part I found exciting. But you don't slow down on it when you're doing it. Like, oh, that's why you do it for like 7 days or something. I did morning pages for decades, and many of those sessions ended up being really powerful essays and short stories, but they didn't actually come out like that. It was just I'd start moaning and whinging and stuff, blah. And then what would happen though is something would emerge as a result of that. And so I would say, oh, I'm grabbing that. And I could then transfer it because it cleared the pipes. This is exactly the same as the visual morning pages. Exactly same. Now, just take note of this because it's really important. The Purge doesn't even aim at making art at all. I didn't get that on my first day. You're going to see me constantly trying to justify making a piece of sellable art, especially on this first day. It's really quite funny watching it back. And I thought, oh my God, what was I doing? Write it on the wall. I am not making art. Go on, put it on a big bit of paper and stick it on the window. And just remind yourself every time you start trying too hard, this could be this guy. Let yourself do that, but just be aware of what you're doing. If you slow down, you're kind of moving into your ego. I mean, just look at kids, like really little kids. They just don't care. Use mud, slop, colour for emotion. Like big haptic monster hands, whatever comes out. And yes, forms do emerge. Things you wouldn't have predicted, especially if you're painting quite a restricted, tight way. This is not anything to do with art style. And yet I also struggled with that through the entire series. I thought, oh, is this abstract expressionism, blah, blah, blah. Now, who wants rules? Not me. And on the first experiment day, I didn't even understand that my ego kept on bouncing in and taking over. So why did I draw up this list of rules? Well, that kind of came later on, because on the first day, and actually probably a few days afterwards, you'll see me, I kept falling into trying to analyze it as an art style or an image or something. It's okay. I mean, I want the images. You'll see, I want to relate to the image. It's not like I'm saying paint like a big, exploding volcano. It's not about the image that you identify. You see a dog or a chicken. I see lots of things like that because they're in me. It's not that. It's about where you start to let your ego start to judge it as commercially viable, or is this good enough? You let that judgment slip in, where you're starting to think about what someone on the outside is thinking if they were looking at it. So use the rules as you want and if you want, but they're there for a reason, and there's not going to be a test, right? This is not about trying to make good paintings. That's the key point. And yet very crazy good paintings may actually reveal themselves in their own good time from the purge, maybe, and maybe not. So here's a bit of a recap on the rules, okay? And then after that, we're going to get on with my first crappy day. So the first one, speed. Never stop moving. Your ego needs time to deliberate. Don't give it any time. Number 2, try for 8 a day, or 6 or 8. When there's 8, no single one of them matters. You don't get stuck. It's not, good for just one. Number 3, get them off that easel the moment it's done and throw them on the floor and get the next sheet up. You can look back later. Number 4, no rescuing. The second you try to save one, you're kind of starting to make art. I mean, you can extend it. It's up to you. It's part of the story, right? Number 5, say it out loud as it comes. The silence is where we censor ourselves. If you can't say things out in the open, sounds a bit silly at first, but you'll get there. Number 6, use a fairly big piece of paper, like something like butcher paper, because it stops you being fussy, and a big brush. Use a great big house brush if you want. Number 7, no judging until the end of that day, and you've got all the 8 done or whatever. Then you can actually go and look at them and react. And number 8, remember, if you feel disappointed, you are probably making art. It's not a telling off. This is just information. Also, just a little heads up. When I filmed these episodes, as I was trying to edit them, oh my goodness, I couldn't stand listening to all my crap. So I deliberately sped up the ranting, and it's really much more effective like that. You can sort of catch bits of it. It's ranting and ranting. That's why I think you should record it. The same thing kept reoccurring at various times through the days that followed. So when you speed it up, it's actually really quite funny. It lets you laugh at yourself. You go, oh my God. And then I would just slow it down at points that might be of interest, in transitions. So honestly, you would not sit there for all that time listening to all that crap that was in my head, I promise you. I'm not quite sure I'd really let you read my actual morning pages, so,
I don't like this, but this is making me grumpy. I don't know what to do now.
I want to do some creativity exercises to just get me back in touch with that, that emotional core. And in a way, it's a kind of a visual morning pages. So I left these sketchbook exercises in, even though I didn't want to do them anymore after that first day, because I found that on the table I was too comfortable. And so that's where I would start to sort of, go over and over the painting instead of just moving on from it and keeping it much more in the body. I know it sounds a bit weird, but that body thing is actually very important. So bear with me as I go through the sketchbook, and I've left it there so you can see that, and then I evolve out of that onto the easel. I had no idea what I was doing here. I just started, and it was just a big mess. And what happened is when I looked back at this footage, I realised I was actually giving myself a lecture, and I do it a lot. And so this was the discovery upon reviewing the footage. We can create change that's needed. But we can become evangelical like any type. We can become one-eyed, and aggressive, and not be thinking of others because we're too busy working on our own ego, the big ego. Me. So something else I noticed is that I'd start out with all this moaning and whinging, and then I would transform it into something beautiful. Like here, you just see me putting hearts there and moving the thing into something that makes it better, which is kind of probably part of my nature, trying to fix it. I had no idea that I was doing that until I actually watched the footage back. So that's why I say record it. If you focus fully on
the things that you feel you can change, the things that are within your circle, what everybody does. And it's not that we need to be one thing or the other, not at all. We need to be all the things. Human beings are not made to be this or that. We have a whole lot of us with different natures, and when we're separated, we become faulty, our complexes emerge because we can't grow because it's not who we are. It's that we see that contrast, and it helps us to deepen ourselves, to deepen our convictions, but not to be arrogant. Good, strong heart, and to love the hearts of others. See what I mean? It's different. There's two different things. Impose or to respect, I guess. Suddenly, I feel like I've got this red-toothed monster going on here. This little pink person. And I feel like it's almost like a little beast, and it needs little leggies. It has a little beak.
As you can see, I was turning it into something else. But this process of turning it into something else is actually part of this journey. I was trying to heal myself, my own sanctimonious crap.
I think that's enough. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to draw the way I feel about these monsters that are destroying our food and our animals and our everything. They're just down the bottom of this triangle of life. You know, the old Maslow's triangle, this is I, they say, and they always try and say that that's what they're about, you know, the elite, etc. They try to think that this is superior to everybody in between, all the beautiful people in between, all the people trying their very best, struggling, suffering, but they can't get what they need done because they have to keep encountering this stuff. And what is it? These people are exempt from any of that mess somehow. And that's what they found out. Some of them used to be in here. But when they get to these small big money bags, all the money bags, then they go, you know, it's like they think they're up here, they're down here. So they hire or they pay all these absolute useless politicians. There they all are, all the little greed mugs in a row, putting all that money in their pockets, Absolute scumbags, scum. And all these people dealing with all the bombs and the wars and the drugs and the poison food, everything's going wrong all the time. They have to deal with this suffering, and all down here, throwing their very, very best. Well, these horrid, nasty creatures from the underworld, they are creatures. Here they are trying to take everything, steal it, look at all the things that are happening in history. All these ideals get tied up with, these glorious ideals, communism war, socialism war, and capitalism war. That's a very bad one. All these things end up being totalitarianism, fundamentally it's another big bucket of slime, and that slime is absolutely all through this. These guys, opposite theory, whole big bunch of bad losers, they should all be down up here, they're the worst of the worst, you know what I want to do with them. I've got a big body of water here, that's the nice guys, well, I don't know what to say. So, have a look at I just vented my spleen, that big circled horse eye, there it is, looking down on them, and these guys thinking that's them, when in actual fact, it's got nothing to do with them, and they all say, oh, you know, we're safe in the store, whatever, no, nothingness, rats, bum, undeveloped scumbags. So, what am I going to do about it? Well, I did that. So now I'm switching over to being an artist, and I'm saying, this green, I need the green. Green fraud going on. They're trying to make all these people pay for what they're doing with their greed. They're making so much money. Think about money. It feels like it needs a heart.
So you can see me here going into artist mode, and I'm thinking, oh, but it was like the thing transformed from all that ugliness that I was purging out of myself, and then it suddenly looked like something else. And that is really the point. It's really good. You are transforming, putting hearts in it and all sorts of funny things. Saw a big hippo. Do it how you like to do it. This was just one of my first attempts.
I could easily lose the graphic aspect of it. But if I want to now abstract that and turn it into something that I can use, then, you know, I've got to go somewhere with it, right? So I could turn all these little green monsters into kind of like spines on a... Look at this, see? It's like a big hippo. Dinosaur things on the back, or little crocodile spurs. And then it's like all these big feet down the bottom. And this is the big... His mouth, right? Expressing all my frustration for the morning. I hope I haven't offended you. Too bad. So, my morning walk. We have lots of trees all the way, and the dogs get so hot, and they pant, and there's the panting, and they wag their tails at the same time, and then occasionally, you know, you hear something that feels like a snake going through the bush, but there's always this problem with my dogs. They are constantly running away, and it's just annoying as everything. And so, who's this? What have I done? That's a tongue, that's the ears, and that's fine, but I've got very figurative, and it gets very, very hot. Okay, I'm going in. All right, it gets very, very hot really early now, not so much in the other season. We've got all these trees up in the sky, and beautiful trees, and it's not usually green at this time, but I can only think about what's happening right now. Gravel, which is kind of, that's the wrong colour. I'm going to mix all the colours for gravel, sort of a reddy colour, and it's just everywhere. Okay, now where am I going? I need to go into my little doggies, and I think I've gone too far. They're both choppy lab. There's my dogs, doggy dogs. I think this is going very badly, quite frankly. And there's a tail going up. I feel like I need a smaller brush, but I shouldn't do it. We'll just do this. Just go with it, Helen. Trees, brown trees, black trees everywhere. Doggies, naughty doggies. Tongues out, ears up, tails wagging, trees everywhere, and snakes. Blue. It's getting muddy. This is a terrible picture. But I don't care. I'm going to keep going. I made a kind of a browny colour in there. But it's my morning walk. It feels a bit like this mess. I've filled the whole place up now. See how there's no negative space, so it's not so good? Let's see if I can rescue it. I can change it up with a bit of a... Oh, hang on, I haven't been using any of this colour. This is good. This is my Prussian blue. Oh, look at that. That can be the snake. There we go. There he is. Water. Get some drips in there. Why not? Just do... I'm going to be a kid now. You know how kids go in and they do stupid things with their paintings and they crazily work out of all the mud. They kind of work out. It's really weird. Okay, so I'll put a bit of white in there. Feels like it needs to push in. And I put, why not? What they're doing, they just jump in and they've got nothing to lose. They're not trying to show off to anybody. Dog, dog. You can't see them, can you? Because it's just disappearing into the background, but you'll see what I do in a minute. Tail, dog, run, 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 dog, tail, doggies. Right, legs, legs, this leg. Okay, now, how do I get this so I can see anything? Then here I go, trying to make it into an actual viable painting, because right now, as I keep saying, I didn't actually know that I was making rules about anything. I was just trying to enjoy myself, and it just felt like I was painting like a kid. So let's just ride this wagon and see how it pans out. This looks like a complete failure, but I'm not going to give up yet. Already I can see that I'm starting to be quite refined, which is just me being an artist and not a child. It should be called the lost and found game, because you basically are losing and finding things. It's the process. I think the large passages of colour are good. Oh, it has to have some depth. It's got a three-eye monster. Okay, his tail goes up, his ears. Okay, there's his teeth. There we go. And a few little dog claws. How about that? Now, where's my snake gone? I need my snake. That was the best one. There it is. There's the snake, the scary snake. The tree's going off. Yeah, that's getting better. The sunbeam. Ha ha ha. The sun says, I'm getting revenge on you. Just remember, when I was doing these, I had no idea what I was actually doing. I was just purging like morning pages. I just wanted to use up the paint before I closed off. And so, because I was in this I don't care frame of mind, you know, this is all part of it. It did turn into something that looks like something. So let's go through and trust the process. Now, I just want to use up the paint, and in this one I'm going to be completely silly and not think about anything. I'm just going to draw lines and see what left hand, right, behind my back. Where am I? I'm behind my back. Do some things. I've turned myself around. See here, my own subconscious and my years and years of painting things along these lines means that what emerges with a blank mind is literally what you see. So this is my content still purging and coming through, just by me not doing anything except just letting the paint roll. Can you see what's emerging? He's a little bulldog. I can give him some little claws. Suddenly he has meaning in himself. Put a bit of eyeballs in there. Give him some directions for his eyes. A little spot there. And he's got a nose in there somewhere. Let's make it a nose. Okay, there we go. And we could even have a painting mouth. Yep, there's his tongue hanging out. And his mouth there. Oops, maybe not on that side. There's his mouth. Let's go for his teeth hanging out, because he would have little teeth. Oops, one big one there. Oops, something like that. Doesn't even matter. Again, I'm getting too bitty now, but you see the point, right? That's if you want to go there, but I don't really, because it makes it look all structured and not good. Maybe he's a terrier-like dog. Okay, I think he's done. He's got a bit of white in his claws. I bet you think it's awful. But you know what? I don't care. Well, I'll tell you what I do need. It's just a little bit of intense red on his tongue. Whoop, there we go. Oh, that's perfect. Whoop. Whoop. That's the trick. That's the one. I tried to make a non-figurative image and it just came out as a figure. This is what it's about. It's who are you, and not trying to be someone else. Then I decided to go to the easel for the last few so I wouldn't get so tied up in the detail, and it worked.
All I'm using is just a bit of acrylic
juice and just a fairly big brush, graphite pencil, anything like that will do. I'm just going to place some mark. I don't want to think, but I also don't want to act blindly because I'm not just blabbing stuff on, but there's got to be this kind of connection. The minute the brush hit the paper, I had this image of one of my sheep that I'm worried about at the moment. She's an old mother and she's not eating very well. I'm watching her. She's always hanging out behind. I get so worried about them all. I know it's hopeless. I'm a terrible farmer because I care about them all, which makes it worse for me. And I know it's all the things you're not supposed to do, but it is how it is. And this is this feeling of suffering that it just, I can't stand it. And it gets so bad. And I know so many of us feel like this just over a sheep or a chicken or the dogs. It almost cripples me. So that seems to be my life lesson, is how to come to terms with that without becoming some sort of unconscious mean person. I'm just going to go with this. I could feel this sheep. It's just this feeling. And the suffering in the world comes down and it pours on everybody. Nobody knows why. It just keeps coming down and hurting everybody. Poor animal, these animals with little legs there, and the bar. Man, it's almost enough for me to have expressed my feelings by just doing that. Well, now I could come along and write what I was thinking on this piece, or I could not do it. And that's a pretty good idea as well, because if I wanted to come back and, use something like this as a way of painting, maybe it's better for me not to talk about or think about that. So I'm going to give myself a reference. My suffering animals. Yeah, that's what's in my heart. All right, let's do another one. This time I'm just going to start with this big woody pencil, which is, what's the diff? What instant feeling do I have? It is hot. It is going to be hot again. It was 40 yesterday and it was like 39 at 6 p.m. Oh gosh, I really hate the hot weather. I'm struggling with, I don't want to go where I was before. I want to go somewhere different. That's the story of my life. All right, let's go. So I want to go somewhere different, somewhere over here that I've never been, something new that I've never seen. And here I am. You could get stuck down in this bog. Your feet are like, it's like having a bear trap. The bear trap on your leg, and there's a chain, and it goes, and you can't get out of it. It's pegged somehow to the ground. And this leg, this feeling, and then, there's another one that just wants to run that way, go that way. God, he's over there. What's in that distance? There's all these exciting homes that is life. But down here, we get stuck, and then we can't think because we're constantly looking over there. It's stuck down here. It's saddening. I better write down what that is, how I feel being stuck, and worse still, wanting to run from myself far away, wherever that is. I've jotted it down. What do you reckon? It's really good fun. So what to do with that? Well, how about I do another exercise? There we go. Turning it upside down. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to apply paint. All I'm going to do is reference the shapes here and not the story, not the narrative. I'm going to change it up a bit and put some lovely Prussian blue. So there's a kind of a flowery shape there. I really want these circles back mounted to me, kind of a negative shape. I think that's the point where you just stop and wait. What do you think? Does anything stand out to you? I'm just going to stand back and have a look. It just feels like shapes and wiggles, and it's kind of disconnected from the original idea, which is good. Now, I know I shouldn't do things because I'm supposed to be going black and white. They're a crayon that's, water soluble. So
let me just try a few colours. What about a silly random thought? Like this morning when I was out in my orchard, I was trying to pick all the fruit and I can't use it all. I've pickled so much. So I have to actually give it to, people or my animals. So I'm up there this morning thinking, oh my goodness, the nectarines aren't very big this year. And I thought, what does it matter? So it is one of the burdens of living here is that it's also the blessing of living here, which is abundance of food. And that was kind of one of my Armageddon kind of ideas. So why don't I do something about this abundance of food in a time where everybody should be worried about a scarcity of food. All right, so I have an abundance. I've got so much food. Stay loose. Lots of nectarines, lots of other apricots everywhere. There's lemons falling on the ground. Strawberries everywhere. Strawberries. This is silly. I don't like this picture. It's strawberries. It feels sad. All right, that's my brain. What do we have? We have my feelings. I don't like this, but it's making me grumpy. I don't know what to do now. It feels like it's about the big picture out there. It's about things secure. It's about what's coming from the skies. This evil thing that's trying to destroy us. These tech giants, and they're mad. That's not mad enough. Where's my teeth? These mad giants, they're coming to get us with their big paws. They're bombing us with their bombs. This is silly indeed. Coming for us down here, and all the chickens are going, they're trying to tell us we've got bird flu. This is not right. The chickens are going, this is not right. Leave us alone. We are trying to do our job, and you are just trying to kill us all. And I'm trying to lay nice eggs for you, trying to do the right thing, and you're doing these horrible things. What a wonderful therapy session I'm having here. But above all this, there's this intention that I have. This is beautiful. It's there. It's sunshine. My intention is to look after things, to care for things, to protect them against these awful monsters who prey on everything. And they come from down under. They come down under in the underworld. They are bad monsters. They are greedy, and they are nasty, and they're selfish. All of those things, and they think they are kings of the world. Yeah. That's it. What if I go to paint? All right. So what about how would I use this to paint? It's already getting hot. All the fans are blowing everything. All right, let's go. I really want red. I want to sort of use colours on this one. A red. What I've got on my palette here is the primaries. I've got a blue, a red, and a yellow. So that'll be interesting. A grassy colour. All right, sticking with the great big brush. Don't go, well, it's fairly big. Don't go small. These big monsters in the sky. And I'm trying to think now to just keep them as elements. Claws are grabbing. These nasty claws are grabbing at everyone, like spiders. This just needs to be teeth here. And sort of like, just a bad feeling. My beautiful chicken. She's trying so hard. Those beautiful eggs come forth. They come forth. And these nasty people, what are they raining down on us? What are they doing to this beautiful world? We're going to mix up some orange. So there's these feelings. The nectarines. Did I put in? Where's the fruit on? All right, that's the fruit. The fruit's everywhere. And they try to steal it. Eggs. Beautiful eggs. That's it, I think. There just needs to be something strong here. They try to get the chickens. They try. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. What are they doing? I started off with fruit. I'm going to put abundance versus evil. Okay, that's it. It's not bad, is it? If you really just look at it, blow your eyes and just look at it as a perspective of art. And then this one was just like my initial thoughts and feelings about what's going on. And then I reckon that's not bad. There we go. Let's have another look. See what you can do. I had a lot of fun. You did these exercises every morning for, I don't know, a week. It'd be fascinating to see what the results are. Hang on, I'll show you. This is what I did on camera with you today, but also in between I did these three. So I really liked these. They came up almost better than the other ones. And that's all of them all together. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Okay, guys, that was day one, sketchbook, cheap paper, and me still arguing with myself about whether any of it was any good. You saw how often I fell into that.
That's not the point. So I'm not showing you someone who's mastered this process. I'm showing you the day I started to work it out. I mean, put it this way. Would you show someone your morning pages? Probably not. So, give me a break. After this, I made it into an actual idea because it tickled my fancy actually to be able to just be a bit of a kid having fun. So 7 days, 8 paintings each day on the easel, standing up, worst paper, crappy paper, and it just got, faster, louder, and somewhere in there, something actually happened that I really did not expect. It took me by surprise. Day 2 is coming up next, and instead of the shonky phone I was filming on with no microphone, I actually got a proper camera going, so hopefully it's a little better quality. And if you want to run this yourself, have a go. The rules I made and the challenge are in the link below. All right, I'll see you on day 2. So what are these nefarious buggers up to? There's this thing pulsing in the back of my mind. It's like a little voice that has sensibilities.